I'm Lemon. Today I'll be covering the fundamentals of animation and how to use the software I use to your advantage. If you are looking for a drawing tutorial in IbisPaint instead, check out the video I posted. There are timestamps in the description if you want to jump around, but this video is designed to be watched from start to finish. By definition, animation is a technique where pictures are created or manipulated and then played in sequence to create the illusion of moving video. Frame-by-frame animation is when someone uses a form of media to make each frame by hand, such as drawing each frame. On the other hand, tweening is like setting and adjusting keyframes. Don't get confused between tweening and rigging. Rigging is basically like taking a character, like a drawing, and separating the layers to be prepared and tweened. While making your actual plan, make sure that the focus is on the movement. One trick I like is to blur the background or the things around the character. This forces the eye to focus on the thing that's actually in focus. You can have cool scenes like this, where the focus changes just because of the blur. If you're cutting between two scenes, continuing the motion from the previous scene is a commonly used trick to make things nicer. You can do this in editing, but also in animating. This would mean that if you change subjects, they stay in the same place and move around from there, keeping the velocity. What is it? And what do I mean by that? Well, think of it this way. When you drop something from a very, very high place, it falls, and then it speeds up until it reaches the max speed it can because of gravity and air resistance. When it hits the ground, the speed drops to 0. You need to think about how the speed of anything will change as it moves. Like if I move this solid stick, it will move as a whole, and start getting faster in the middle until it breaks at the end. But this bendy stick drags at the top because it's only getting pulled at the bottom and air resistance is preventing it. But this example still does not look as good as it could. How about we use movement lines? Movement lines? What's that, I say? Look at the example again. Now with movement lines. Smoother, huh? Now how do we apply this? If you've ever tried moving something fast, but thought adding more frames slowed the movement down, don't worry, it's a very common issue, and the fix is movement lines. One way you would see the equivalent in real life right now is your hand. Yes, take your hand out and look at it from the side. Now act like you're fanning the side of something. You see how you see your hand in two places and it's blurring in the middle? That's almost what movement lines represent. To draw them, you can draw streaks, smudges, double frames, and more. Now I keep tossing around the term keyframing, so let's talk about that. In many animation softwares, like Live2D, and also editing softwares, like Adobe Premiere and CapCut, you will find keyframes. Keyframes are like frames that you need to make, and the software will connect the in-betweens for you, so that you don't need to draw them. You can change sizes with keyframes, opacity, rotation, and color. Many animators use storyboards. Many movies will use storyboards. In fact, many forms of media use storyboards. Now, if so many people use them, you might be thinking they are the true answer to the best creations. But honestly, they aren't exactly shiny gold. Storyboards show scenes almost like keyframes do. You write notes and put important details about the scene and sketch out a little drawing. They help you plan out and visualize before doing all the very hard work. Let's segue into the next segment, using different software with their strengths and knowing the limitations, starting with ClipChamp. If you're on Windows, you might already have ClipChamp installed. If not, you can download it from the Microsoft Store. If you're on another operating system, don't worry. You can just use the web version instead. I'll have both linked in the description. ClipChamp Pro isn't necessary, but if you do already have it or want to get it, that's fine. Now let's open up ClipChamp. When you open it up, you're gonna notice that there's a little home page. On this home page, there's a button that says Create New Video, Start from Scratch. Go ahead and click that. Let's go over some of the tools that make me like ClipChamp for editing my animations. You're gonna see a side panel that says My Media, Record and Create, Content Library, Templates, Text, Transitions. If you go ahead and click Import Media, you can pick some files from the File Explorer. Once you do actually pick your file, like your animation file, you'll be able to edit it. And you'll also notice that when you click on this file, there's gonna be some new options on the right side. So it'll actually say now captions, audio, fade, filters, effects, adjust colors, and speed. If you click on speed, you'll be able to slow down and speed up your animation, which is real useful when you need to sync it up with audio. The audio button helps you because you can make your audio different for the actual animation. The fade lets you do little fade ins and fade outs, pretty simple. The effects panel has so many effects. One I like to use is the one called green screen. Also, the slow zoom is great, and you can even change where it's zooming onto or make it reversed so that it's like a slow unzoom. There's so many cool effects. I really encourage y'all to look around. There's like flash, pulse, spin. I like using many of them. I think they can bring your animations from a 5 to a 10 just from editing. In fact, editor's note here, I'm editing on ClipChamp. When you right click on your animation or whatever video it is, you're gonna see some little buttons. So there's gonna have duplicate, copy, paste, delete, split, edit duration, rename, audio. The audio is actually the same section as the other one, except that this time you can actually detach it or mute it. Renaming is probably not going to be that useful unless you like to organize stuff. Edit duration I actually never use ever, so honestly I don't even know what that does. But split is quite important. There's also a split button just kind of on the timeline right here that's easier to use. Now once that you've split your clips and you go over to the transition section, you can add transitions just by dragging them on, or you could click on here and add a transition. And these transitions are actually pretty neat for your animations. So I like it. I like ClipChamp for those reasons. It's also a nice editing software and it's free. Next up is CapCut. You can download CapCut from this site. Don't get a virus! Anyways, you don't need to download it. You can also use the site version, just like ClipChamp. I actually like using the site more. The subscription isn't necessary, but if you do have it already or want to get it, that's also fine. Now, unfortunately, CapCut doesn't have a chroma key, basically the thing that lets you key out green screens. So we can't use it to get rid of green screen. Oh god, why do I? Now, unfortunately, CapCut doesn't have chroma key, so we can't use it to get rid of green screens. But luckily, it redeems itself by having keyframes. So when you open up CapCut, you're gonna get a little bit of a... Oh my god. So, when you open up CapCut, what you're gonna see is, for some reason, AI stuff, but you're gonna wanna click this little blue check mark on the side. Also, I'm pretty sure that the downloaded version has a pretty different software, so just bear with me. When you hover above that blue arrow, it'll show you video, image, and magic tools. But for the videos, you can pick any size you want. Or you could just literally click it and import your project. Then it's gonna have a little blue arrow inside of the workspace, and it's gonna say click to upload or drag and drop file here. On the media section, you can also click upload and put in a clip. One downside to CapCut that I notice a lot is its limitations of storage. So I really find that annoying because you need to like delete your old projects, and it decides to store them in its own storage, so you can't just have it on your laptop or computer or device. The most notable thing about CapCut is gonna have to be its keyframes. The way we're gonna use this is to upload any random video. So once you have your video, it's gonna pop up a new side column with some tools. One of those being animation. Go ahead and click that. Animation is not keyframes. It is just like the transitions in ClipChamp. Now if you click basic, basic will have the keyframes. So when you scroll down a little bit, you'll see something that says opacity. Now if you just drag this, you can make the opacity go from 0 to 100. But if you click the little diamond, you add a keyframe. Now if you scroll forward into your video and lower the opacity to 0 and watch your video, you'll notice that it slowly drops the opacity automatically. You can do this for transform too, which is right underneath, and position, and rotate, and like scale. So like all of these transforming things. And if you put in text, you can change the color of it. So this keyframing is going to let you zoom in and do more advanced things like that, because ClipChamp doesn't have the ability to make keyframes. It just has set keyframes that zoom it for you. This is way opening. It lets you do so much more things. So that's basically what you're gonna like. Editor's note here. One thing I noticed when I use CapCut is that if I import a transparent file and try to put it on top of things, sometimes it blocks what's under it, even though it's transparent. That's a weird glitch. Be aware. If anyone knows a fix or anything about it, go ahead and tell us in the comments. Lastly but not least, IbisPaint. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Make sure to download it from here, link in the description, so that you don't download a virus! IbisPaint has premium options, which I think is worth it. I got it and I can spend more time animating, but you don't actually require it. Also important to know, if you want to animate it with a different canvas sizing, you may need it. It's fine not to have custom canvas sizes. Okay, so once you open up IbisPaint, you are gonna see My Gallery and Online Gallery. Go ahead and click on My Gallery. Then it'll ask you what you want to use, and again, just use the free version. Okay, now at the top, it'll say My Gallery, and then it'll have like a plus mark that's blue, and that's how you create a new project, basically. And so you can just scroll down on this little thing that says folder import picture illustration for printing. Go all the way down till you'll see animation. Now you can basically click one of those, whatever it lets you. It might not let you make your own, it might not, yeah. And yeah, so just go ahead and click one, and then it'll ask if you want to change the frames per second, which you can change later on, but this is a very neat feature that the other editing softwares don't have. And remember, IbisPaint is more like actually frame by frame. Now you'll see the sidebar, which is like where all your tools are, and that's just normal when you draw. So if you're familiar with IbisPaint drawing tools, you'll know these. At the bottom here, there's actually the normal tools, but then there's a frame. And this plus button next to the play button right here will let you create new frames. Then, if you click on the frames, you can duplicate, delete, or change the duration. Now the duration shows you how many seconds it is, so you can actually make frames like longer, like up to 6 seconds long. And basically you can just draw your frames frame by frame here. Now of course it doesn't have keyframing, but it's a great drawing software, so this is where like I usually just actually draw my animations. And if you want to learn how to draw here again, check out my video. It talks more about how you can draw in IbisPaint. I'm not going to cover that here, but let's talk about some of these animation features. If you click these dots right over here, you can click animation settings. You'll see that you can now change the frames per second, but it also has onion skin options. So onion skinning, if you're not familiar, will show you, if you're on the next frame, it will show you the previous frame, and if there's like a frame ahead, it'll show you the frame ahead too. You can actually adjust this with these onion skinning, and you can actually change the opacity of them and their colors. Now that I've taught you a bunch of tricks, I want to show you the way that I apply this to my projects. You can take inspo or skip this section if you want. Firstly, I come across an audio I want to animate to. Then I storyboard with panels or just think about what I want the animation to end up like. Normally I do storyboarding on paper, then I draw my key important frames in IbisPaint, or redraw the storyboard. Depending on how much is frame by frame, I do that. Lastly, I edit together with effects and zooms and add the audio in ClipChamp. And that's all. Remember that the fundamentals you saw at the beginning of the video apply to many other softwares you can use to animate, like Adobe Animate, Flip, Alight Motion, Krita, Live2D, and all the others. Feel free to ask questions in the comments and I'll try to respond. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you liked the video, then you should like the video. If you happen to watch all of this, I think you might like some of these videos. Make sure to download it from here so that you don't